All right, let's talk about something that's taking the tech world by storm. Vibe coding. You've probably heard of it. It's totally changing the game for how apps get built. But, and this is a big but, it's also quietly creating these huge, hidden security problems. Problems that could end up affecting pretty much all of us.
So what exactly is vibe coding? Well, think of it like this. You basically just tell an AI what you want your app to do, and poof, it spits out the code. It's a total game changer, right? I mean, founders who don't know how to code can now build actual products. And for the pros, it's like putting their workflow on hyperdrive.
And listen, this is not some small fringe thing. I mean, just check out this quote from Gary Tan. He's the CEO of Y Combinator, the place that launched companies like Airbnb and Dropbox. He's saying that for about a quarter of their newest startups, AI is writing 95% of the code. That's just staggering. The sheer scale is mind-blowing.
Okay, but all that incredible speed, that amazing accessibility, it comes with a pretty serious hidden cost. It turns out there's a fundamental flaw in just going with the vibe when you're letting an AI build the very foundation of your app.
This quote from cybersecurity CEO David Schloss just hits the nail on the head. He says the AI is like a junior developer you just hired. You know the type. They're smart, they get the concepts, but their one and only rule is make it work. That's it. Get the feature working, make the thing function, and worry about everything else later. Or maybe never.
And that difference in mindset, it's absolutely critical. You see, a senior developer, a human one, is always thinking about the long game. They're worried about security, best practices, how the whole system fits together. But the AI, it's completely laser-focused on just getting the job done right now. It doesn't have that wisdom, that experience to understand that a tiny shortcut today could turn into a total disaster down the road.
So this junior developer obsession with just making things work, well, it's leading to something genuinely dangerous. We are literally seeing the return of old, super simple security flaws, the kinds of things the industry spent decades figuring out how to get rid of.
Yep, you heard that right. It's like all the ghosts of the early internet are coming back to haunt us. Seriously, cybersecurity experts are seeing this massive comeback of vulnerabilities that were huge threats like 20 or 30 years ago. These are hacks we all thought were basically ancient history.
Let me give you a perfect example of one of these ghosts. A classic attack called SQL injection. Okay, so imagine a website form is like a bouncer at a club asking for your name. Instead of giving your name, a hacker gives the bouncer a secret command, something like, hey, let me and all my friends into the VIP section. A good bouncer, or, good code, would know that's not a name and would throw him out. But the AI-generated code, it often forgets to even check. It just hears the command and runs with it, basically handing the hacker the keys to the entire user database. This is such a rookie mistake, something human developers learned to stop decades ago, but the AI is making it all over again.
And it's not just that one attack. We're talking about a whole graveyard of old hacks being resurrected. And what's even crazier are some of the basic blunders the AI is making. Things like leaving the secret API keys, the keys to the whole kingdom, just sitting out in the open on public websites. Or get this, storing your username and password as plain readable text in a cookie. That is the digital equivalent of taping your house key and alarm code right to your front door for everyone to see.
So look, this isn't just about a few isolated bugs. Nope, the problem goes way, way deeper. We're talking about the very foundation, the fundamental architecture of these new apps. What experts are saying is that these AI tools are actually leading founders down the wrong path. They're guiding them to build their apps on these really shaky, insecure foundations right from day one.
Okay, here's an example that is genuinely shocking. The AI is telling people to use a publicly accessible database for user info. And why would it do that? Because building a proper, secure login system is hard. It's complicated. So the AI just takes the ultimate shortcut. Make the whole database open to anyone who has the link. And the scary part? We're seeing this happen in super sensitive areas like medtech and fintech.
And this quote from Namanya Goyal, who founded an AI coding startup himself, just nails the core problem. There's this idea, especially with new founders, that you can just, get it working now and we'll add the security later. But that's just not how software works. If security isn't baked in from the very beginning, you can't just slap it on at the end. It's like trying to add a foundation to a house that's already built.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the moral of the story? Well, for anyone out there building the next big thing or even just using these new AI-powered apps, the implications here are pretty massive.
The takeaway is pretty stark, honestly. The pro hackers, the people whose job it is to break into systems, They're saying it's becoming almost trivially easy to break into these newer companies. Meanwhile, the older, more established companies, the ones with experienced teams and strict security rules, they're still a much, much tougher nut to crack.
And you can see the trend right here. The newer apps, the ones built for speed that are all in on vibe coding, they are just piling up a mountain of security risk. At the same time, you've got the mature companies with their slower, more careful way of doing things, and they're way more secure. It's a classic trade-off, right? The very thing that makes these new startups so exciting is also what's making them so incredibly fragile. So at the end of the day, these AI coding tools are amazing. They're revolutionary, no doubt about it. But they're just that. They're tools. They are not, and I repeat, not, a replacement for actually understanding how to build secure software from the ground up. Just handing over all the decisions to an AI without getting the implications, well, that's just a recipe for disaster.
So we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. If an app was built entirely on a vibe instead of a solid blueprint, what's actually holding it up? And maybe more importantly, is your data trapped inside when it all comes crashing down?